You are 7 years old, you are standing in the amber dust of the East African savannah, watching your brothers chase cattle across land that stretches all the way to the horizon. That land belongs to your father. One day it will belong to your brothers. One day it will belong to your husband. It will never, under any circumstances, belong to you. Welcome to the Maasai world where the sunsets are absolutely stunning, the warriors are genuinely legendary, and your entire existence as a woman has been prepackaged, pre-assigned, and pre-approved by everyone except you. Let's start with the job description. You are a Maasai girl. Before you can even read or write, not that anyone's going to send you to school to find out, your daily itinerary is already locked in. You wake up before the sun, you collect firewood, you haul water from a source that could be miles away on a head that hasn't finished developing yet. You cook, you clean, you milk the cattle, and then just when your arms feel like they're about to detach from your body, you get the real assignment: build the house. Not help build the house, not supervise the house being built. You, personally, with your own two hands, construct the entire family home from scratch. You are responsible for construction, repair, and maintenance of the house, along with cooking, cleaning, fetching water and firewood, milking the cattle, and looking after the children. You mix mud, water, and fresh cow dung with your bare hands into a plaster. You pack it into woven branch walls. You build the roof. When it cracks, you fix it. When the tribe moves, you knock it down and build a new one somewhere else. The men, they take care of the herd and are the decision makers. Great system. And here's the real bonus. Traditionally, Maasai women do not inherit land or property. You just built the house. You cannot own the house. You cannot own the land it sits on. In Maasai custom, girls are largely considered their father's property until they become their husband's property. You are essentially a very hardworking tenant who pays rent in manual labor and has zero path to ever becoming a homeowner. But let's back up, because before any of that can happen, there's a ceremony you have to get through first. They call it a rite of passage, the transition from girlhood to womanhood, a sacred milestone. What it actually is this: a procedure performed without anesthesia, using scissors, razor blades, or broken glass carried out on girls aged between 4 and 14, NIA, no hospital, no sterile equipment, no pain relief, just a traditional practitioner, a blade, and the cultural expectation that you will endure it without becoming an embarrassment to your family. A poorly performed procedure causes excessive bleeding, which can cause death or anemia. Despite being illegal in Tanzania, FGM is still practiced by an estimated 68% of Maasai families. And the reason families keep doing it? Simple. Maasai men reject women who are uncut. No ceremony, no marriage, no future. The system is airtight. You survive the procedure. Your personal feelings about it are, as always, completely irrelevant. Because waiting on the other side isn't recovery time and therapy. What's waiting on the other side is a husband. Maasai girls are often married immediately after undergoing FGM, sometimes as young as 12 years old. You don't get a Tinder profile. You don't get a coffee date to see if you vibe. Girls do not have a choice but to acknowledge their parents' wishes. If a girl tries to decline a marriage offer, she is beaten until she accepts. Your family views you as an economic transaction. Families genuinely view their daughters as economic assets, particularly during times of drought, livestock disease, or other financial hardships. You are cattle insurance. You are a dowry in human form, so you get married. He is older. You have never had a real conversation with him. You are now his wife, possibly his second wife, or his third. The family structure is traditionally patriarchal and polygynous, with a man, his wives, and their children forming a household. You live inside a compound with his other wives and their children, all stacked together in a circle of little mud huts you built yourself. Each wife has her own hut. The first wife builds her house on the right side of the main gate. Because in a life with almost no power at all, your position in the gate queue is about as much status as you're going to get. Now, let's talk about what your days look like as a married Maasai woman. Spoiler, they look exactly like your days as an unmarried Maasai girl, except now there's a husband who owns everything you build and children who need everything you have. You still gather the firewood, you still haul the water. Girls help their mothers gather firewood, cook, and handle most other domestic responsibilities, and now you are the mother. The cycle simply loops back on itself, perfectly sealed, no exit visible. You want to go to school? Only a fifth of students in Maasai schools are female. Possessing skills to survive outside of matrimony is seen as unnecessary. Education is not for you. Education is for people whose futures are considered open questions. Yours was already answered at birth. You want to own land? For generations, only men were allowed to own and inherit land, as one Maasai woman told UN Women. The idea of a woman holding a land title deed is so unusual that the one Maasai female landowner in her district became notable enough to be interviewed by international journalists. There is exactly one of her. She knows this because she knows only one female Maasai landowner, herself. And here is where it gets philosophically brutal. Because the Maasai world is genuinely beautiful, the land is staggering. The culture is ancient and intricate and worth preserving. The community bonds are real. The beadwork is art. The warriors are iconic. Tourism companies make millions selling safaris built on the aesthetics of this world. Honeymooners photograph it from Land Rovers. Coffee table books celebrate it. But the women holding that world together, building every house, raising every child, hauling every drop of water, own none of it. Not the land, not the cattle, not the house they built with their own hands out of mud and dung and sheer physical willpower. Some women fight back. They find NGOs. They attend literacy programs. Many Maasai women had never left their villages before the trainings. Now they have passports and all the legal paperwork to travel and trade across the border. They sell beadwork in Nairobi. They save shillings for years and buy tiny plots of land that their fathers can barely believe they can afford. They become the single exception in a county full of rules designed to keep them in place. But they are the exception. And the system that produced them is still fully operational. That is the particular cruelty of being a Maasai woman. Not that the culture lacks beauty or depth or meaning. It has all of those things. But the beauty is built on your back. The depth is sustained by your labor. The meaning is preserved by your sacrifice. And when tourists arrive to photograph the magnificent sunset over the savannah with the warriors jumping and the red shukas glowing in the golden hour light, you are not in the frame. You are in the compound, building someone else's house, on land you will never own, in a world that decided your value before you were old enough to decide anything yourself.